Everyone. So we are having this sharing session. So I would like to give opportunities to others who have not spoken yet to share their learnings, understanding, feedback, takeaways, doubts, whatever it may be. So who would like to go next? Does anybody have anything? Karthik ji, Ganesh ji, Ashish ji?
Yeah, Guruji, I did want to, as I had stated earlier, I did want to actually provide my comments to the points raised by Venuji.
Okay.
Very, very valid points. So, Venuji, with your permission,
Sure.
I just wanted to lay my... Sorry?
No. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. So, look, I think 2-3 points that you raised over here, especially related to the fact that why do we need to go into establishing that a Brahman is there and, that is what is the underlying and drives everything. The Guru Shishya Parampara and Sampradaya teaching talk about Nirvana Shatakam. So we get into a lot of confusion, as you stated, whereas, the clarity can come through Karma Yoga and why don't we just stop at that and work towards? So I think what I have kind of learned, I think there is a path to the final knowledge, and there are steps in between. My thought on that is that you're absolutely right that if we can achieve Karma Yoga, then obviously that brings a lot of clarity, and that itself will create a lot of peace and happiness, and to my mind, satisfaction in a sense that what we are doing leads to what in a way. But I think the key, according to me, the key is that for us to be able to differentiate between the I and hence between the I and the general, existence, how that is actually blurred or rather one is extremely important. First of all, to be able to become just the sakshi, rather than think that we are the doer, right? That to my mind, that clarity can only come if we understand what is that Atman of which we are a part, and hence we are part of the whole, but not really a separate being. So that to me is the point number one. Point number two, from the perspective of Karma Yoga, and to be able to, do our deeds with that clarity is only possible once we are able to understand that we really are. How do I put it? Actually, once we're able to step back, and to my mind, the confusion in my mind is what I would again lay out over here is that once I have kind of stepped back and understood that I'm only the sakshi and not the doer, to me that creates the confusion of then why everything, right? And how does it matter? Why is it that actually all these responsibilities of my day-to-day life are important? If I'm anyways only a sakshi, and the sakshi is anyways not going to get affected by anything unless and until you participate in it, right? Is where a lot of time my confusion actually leads me. So those are the 2 points I wanted to just make, Guruji. With my limited knowledge, I wanted to just highlight these. One part, the learning from my perspective, that the journey is only whole. And to my mind, the understanding of Karma Yoga itself will come out of, first of all, understanding that there is an Atman and there is no I. Just that understanding itself is not going to result in the so-called, Param Gyan, because Param Gyan will only happen once we are able to imbibe it rather than just know it. Because I think knowing can happen just on day one, that, okay, fine, it has come to you that you have understood there is an Atman pervading everything, and, there there is mithya that you are seeing all around you, including your own body and mind, the body-mind complex. But that knowledge is not going to do anything to my mind. That is very superficial at the bare level. Then we get into the layers below that. And as we start getting into those layers, we reach, first of all, the layer of being able to dissociate from the acts and perform those duties in a selfless way. But again, that's not going to result in a full knowledge, so to say, unless and until we go further deeper into it and are able to actually truly differentiate between the Atman and the body-mind complex. So these are steps to my mind. Karma Yoga probably is the first step, and to me, actually, that first step itself is so difficult to achieve it's probably just I'm kind of scratching at the surface, is what I feel, and that is where my frustration or confusion or delusion comes out of. That's what I want to just say. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashish ji. Thanks for conveying your thoughts. So a few things probably, maybe, as you rightly said, Karma Yoga is a first step, and that gives you peace of mind. That itself will give a peace of mind. Yes, it will give peace of mind. In fact, Bhagavan says, Trayate Mahator Bhayat. Solpamabhyasya dharmasya Trayate Mahator Bhayat, he says, with regards to Karma Yoga. If we imbibe even a little bit of Karma Yoga, will give us huge freedom from fear. And of course, the relative peace as well. So peace is possible definitely by following Karma Yoga. Now, that is for day to day. Yes, it will definitely help, and it is also prepares us for the journey, because the journey doesn't stop with Karma Yoga. The journey doesn't stop with bhakti. The journey, when we say journey, the jiva's journey, which it has taken multiple janmas so far. We have taken multiple bodies. Many of them could not have been even human bodies. We would have gone through so many, and we may have to go through so many as well. When do we put a stop to it? When do we put an end to it? It happens only when the jiva gets moksha. Of course, moksha is too far away, but we need to understand the roadmap. It's very important for us to know where is this journey going to end, and where am I now, and what do I need to do from now onwards. So in that sense, to start doing Karma Yoga is the best option for all of us. Bhagavan prescribes this even to Arjuna. Start Karma Yoga. Bhagavan gives all the roadmap. Remember, Bhagavan gives the highest jnana to Arjuna. He talks about Atma. Same thing whatever we are teaching in the class, he has given that to Arjuna, but asked Arjuna to do Karma Yoga. It's the same thing for all of us now. We need to have that final vision. We need to understand what is the roadmap. We need to understand what are the intermediary steps to get there. And we also need to understand what are the routes that we should not take. Otherwise, we will be lost. So in that sense, yes, Karma Yoga to start with is good enough to do this. So I will probably not go further beyond that in terms of your point around that. As long as Karma Yoga can give relative peace, it's good enough for this. For people who want to go beyond it, for people who want to understand what the roadmap is, what is the end goal, where am I going to end up with, if people are really keen and they want to actually pick up on those sadhanas, yes, it is for them that, or when you finish Karma Yoga, maybe you've done Karma Yoga for a few years, you feel that you are ready to go to the next step, you can re-listen to these lectures to actually understand what needs to be done next. So in that sense, you can put them into a KIV folder right now, and then come and revisit back afterwards. So that's on the Karma Yoga. Now, the second point that you had mentioned, where you said that when I actually step back and I see that I am actually the Sakshi and I am not the doer, how does it matter? Why do the day-to-day work is important? What needs to be done here? The thing is, the Sakshi, again, Sakshi Bhava that Venugopal ji also brought out. I will have to explain what is Sakshi Bhava, but let's assume that the Sakshi Bhava that Venugopal ji is referring to is actually Brahman. Because Brahman, Atma is the Sakshi. Atma is the Sakshi Chaitanya. Now let's say for time's sake, for this discussion, that the Sakshi Bhava referred by Venugopal ji and you and me are referring to Atma. Now, if I am the Atma and I am not the doer, how does it matter in terms of what I do, what I don't do, or why should I even be doing all these things? Now, this is where we need to understand clearly. I have not identified myself with the Sakshi Bhava yet. If I have identified myself with the Sakshi Bhava already, which means I've already identified myself as Atma, I would have seen that everything is actually a superimposition on the Atma, and therefore this question of why am I doing this, why is people doing like this, will not arise at all. Because I would have got that jnana where I would have seen Brahman alone and everything is actually a superimposition on the Brahman and things act according to this order of reality, and therefore that question will not arise at all. But if I know that I have to realize that I am the Sakshi Bhava, I am that Atma, and I am not the one who is doing it, in this scenario, at this stage, I should realize that I have not gone to the stage of where I am able to own up to my Atma. I am at the present still owning up to my body and mind. And therefore, to own up to my Atma, what does the Shastra say? The Shastra say, do it without likes and dislikes. Do your duties, and do not have any expectations, which is Karma Yoga actually. Do it as Karma Yoga, which means I'm not going to give too much of importance to my likes and dislikes, or rather I am not going to get my likes and dislikes come in the way of what I need to perform and what I should not perform. I will not get my likes and dislikes come in the way of what I expect as an outcome from each of my action. To make that easy, this is what is actually needed. To make it easy, Bhagavan says, or Shastra says, do it as Ishwararpana, take it as prasada, because it is easy for us to understand or have a connect with one person, one supreme power. So and one person whom I love a lot. So I have this Ishta Devata whom I love a lot. So I am doing it for that person. Just like a mother would be happy to actually wake up and do things, even though she may have not had a long night's sleep or had a difficult night's sleep, she would be willing and happy to do it with love for the children in the morning, because of the love. In the same way, if we have a Ishta Devata whom we love, we do we do our activities, we do our duties as Ishwararpana, and then take them as prasada. So, owning up to Sakshi is not happening, will not happen immediately, but that thought must be there. Okay, actually I'm not there. I am not the one who is doing it. It is actually the body and mind. I'm not able to realize it, but I know that it is not me who is doing this. And I will continue what I need to do to get there. I will continue to do what I'm supposed to do with utmost commitment and take it with utmost gratitude. Take the results with utmost gratitude. That is how we should actually look at it right now. I hope I was clear. If there are any other points that you would want to bring about, please do.
Yeah, Namaskaram Guruji. So I don't have any formal summary of the chapter 4 with me, but I just want to share my quick thoughts because I'm still I think I'm very, very young into this whole journey. So I'm not in a position to really, deep dive too much. So I'm using this opportunity to see my life as a subjective experience and apply the whole understanding which I am getting into. And some of the things, especially in chapter 4, if I have to start out, right, one of the shlokas 4-24, Brahmarpanam Brahma Havir, Brahmagno Brahmana Hutam, Brahmaiva Tena Gantavyam, Brahma Karma Samadhina. That pretty much says it all, right? At least theoretically, because I have not experienced the complete thing. But that is kind of the centerpiece for me in chapter 4. And as an inspiration, I take Ishvara, I mean, here Bhagwan Krishna himself, right? So in many places, he himself says, right, that, as an avatara, when he comes down to the earth. So in chapter 3 also, he has quoted in 3-22 saying that नमे पार्थास्ति कर्तव्यम त्रिषु लोकेषु किंचन नानवाप्तव्यम नानवाप्तम अवाप्तव्यम वर्त एव च कर्माणि. So he says that even I don't have any aspect of a duty, but still I continue to indulge myself in all the activities. So with that, so when Bhagwan makes a statement like this, and I see that as an inspiration when he himself, as an avatara or whatever, for whatever reason, as part of his appearance in this world, he continues to engage himself in all the activities without taking any break. Whatever is required, just do the thing. So that is a big inspiration, and I try to see that as my inspiration and to do my karma yoga and have that asanga and yajna bhavana. Take this with a pinch of salt, because I have just started it. I am trying to imbibe as much as I can. So being asakta and all of that. So these thoughts have registered in my intellect at this point in time, and I am trying to grow that seeds into bigger plants, and in someday it will really turn into real wisdom where I can apply all of those experiences. And in another shloka, so he says, so Bhagwan inspires us in chapter 4, shloka 14. Namam karmani limpanti name karma phale spruha iti mam sobhijanati karma bhirna sabhadyathe. So those who understand me in this regard, that none of the actions stain me, or neither do I have any yearning for any result. Those who understand me in this manner will not be bound by actions. So this I take as a big inspiration, so that is my North Star, that is how I would like to be. So I try to approach it in that manner. So, so some of the keywords: asakta, asanga, yajna bhavana. So those are the things. And then I try to reflect, I also try to reflect it with the other thing, right? Inaction, action and inaction. How Rama, Krishna, all these great avatars, how did they really imbibe this inaction into action into inaction? So I really give it a slightly deep thought. I would not say very deep thought, but yeah, I have been at it, trying to think about it. So nature is continuous change. It does not stop. Activity is the definition of nature. So we are also part of this whole nature. So as one prakriti, right? We are also part of it. We have to do full justice in whatever role we have been given with the Ishvara Arpana Buddhi, and take take in prasada in terms of whatever comes by way of the activity result, accepted gracefully. So yeah, so Bhagavan as an inspiration with many of the thoughts directly coming from him, saying that I do it, then so when he does it, right? When he does it, so his inspiration and the other associated shlokas go very well. It basically helps me align with the thoughts, asaktaha yajna bhavana, how he inspires us all the time, that I am here with you to sail through no matter how sinful the sea may be, right? That you might have churned, I am holding your hand, I will see through it no matter what it is. Just hop onto this train of thought and continue to do your activities, and I will see you through. So yeah, so still at very 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 surface level space. So these are so many layers to it. I am just feeling, so just trying to be, continue to learn with all other people's guidance, and obviously with Guruji's guidance. So yeah, I wanted to start this out. I just abruptly started. So I would just, say the Shanti mantra and end here. Om sādhanā vavattu, Om sāhanau bhunaktu, Om sahaviryam karvavahe, tejasvinavaditamastu, ma vidvishavahe, Om shanti, shanti, shantihi. So for those who may not know, just saying that this is the powerful Shanti mantra, which basically says that may there always be a seeker and a true guru and a true shishya, so that our shastras will always flourish, and may they both have the power, necessary power to continue to engage and take this learnings forward. So with that, I will just end here. Thank you so much, Guruji.
Thank you, Karthik ji. So I just want to take up Ashaji's points. Ashaji had asked this to be actually discussed in the class. So I'm going to read out Ashaji's notes and also the points that I think might need some bit of explanation or a response. So Ashaji, I've just put it here. I'm going to read out. Ashaji said, in terms of our key learnings, the world is an illusion, Brahman alone is real, Brahman Satyam, Jagat Mithya. Yes, Brahma Satyam, Jagat Mithya. The Brahman alone is real, the Jagat is Mithya. But the world, we will not call it as an illusion as such, but we will say the world is more a superimposition. It is empirically real, and so in the sense it has got a transactional reality. It functions properly because the world functions according to dharma. But its independent reality is mithya. In the sense, it doesn't have its own existence. Once we understand that we are Brahman, then the world loses its power to have create anything in us. Any kind of attachment, likes, dislikes, any kind of hatred or attachment, nothing of that sort would be, or fear, nothing would be able, it would not be able to create anything. Then the second point she had mentioned was, you are born in this world to exhaust your karma palam, the papa and punya that arise from your actions or karma. Yes, we are here to exhaust our karma, but we also collect karma as we exhaust our karma. And what we can do is, it is not somebody else's karma that we are come to exhaust, it is our own karma. So what we can do is, through the present, as we actually do the current actions, we can shape our future, and we can also try to neutralize some of the effects of the past karma. So as long as we continue to do our actions right now with the correct attitude, we will be able to design our own future. Third point she had mentioned was doing your duties as prescribed by the Shastras with the right attitude as an offering to God and accepting the results as Ishvara Prasada. It converts karma to karma yoga. Yes, correct. Perfect. Offering actions to Bhagavan, accepting results as prasada. It converts even ordinary actions, even a simple act of eating, watching, or even a sleeping activity can be converted into a sadhana. 4. Karma Yoga leads to Chitta Shuddhi and helps you control your senses, mind and intellect and prepares you for Jnana Yoga. Jnana Yoga leads you to the self-realization, Aham Brahmasmi. Yes, correct. So, Chitta Shuddhi first, then you get Jnana Yoga, go to Jnana Yoga and then do the self-realization. The self-realization is for a prepared mind. Until we come to the stage of self-realization, this knowledge, as Ashish ji rightly said, it should be in the back of our mind. It is a knowledge that we should always have in the background. We cannot force it. It doesn't become our knowledge. We have not become a jnani yet, but we should know that ultimately that is where I have to get. So that having that knowledge at the back of the mind is very important. She then mentioned true happiness is a state of mind that gives you eternal peace. We try to find happiness in external objects and situations. Such happiness is transient. Correct. Eternal happiness comes through only when we are able to look inward, only when we are able to renounce our desire, our hatred, aversions, our jealousy, our delusion, our pride. Only then we can actually seek true happiness. We become a seeker of true happiness. This is all she has also mentioned. She had mentioned that, and she had also mentioned practicing Patanjali's Yoga Sutra can help us progress spiritually and attain Jivan Mukti and Videha Mukti. Okay. Yes, practicing, but meditation need not be the way to actually get jnana. Jnana comes only through Shravana Manana Nididhyasana. The Patanjali Yoga Sutras, Patanjali Yoga's Ashtanga Yoga, which talks about Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dhyana, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. That Dhyana there, that is primarily for preparing the mind and also for Nididhyasana. In the 6th chapter, we are going to discuss this elaborately about meditation, various types of meditation, how we need to meditate, what should not, how we should. We will be doing a threadbare analysis of dhyana. So where we will also discuss Patanjali's Ashtanga Yoga on the sides. We will see that. And what we have to understand there is dhyana is not meant for jnana. One cannot get knowledge out of meditation. Meditation is for the purpose of preparing the mind only. Ultimately, knowledge has to come through Shravana Manana Nididhyasana, listening, reflecting and assimilating. In terms of challenges, she had said, we live in a materialistic world today where making money and accumulating material things have become the primary goals in life rather than a means to the end. This in turn increases our desires and harbors kama, krodha, moha, lobha, mada, matsaryam. All negative qualities that divert us from the spiritual path and binds us forever in the cycle of birth and death. Yep, materialistic world, very true. This is the world that we have to live in. This world is never different from what it was before. Even in the times of Mahabharata, at that time also, people were talking about how this world is such a bad place. So it's not that the world is going to change, and this is the world where people have got their moksha also. So what really we have to do is to see how we can actually change our attitude. We have to live in this world with a different attitude. We need not proclaim this to others. We need not claim that, look, I have a better understanding of this world is materialistic and I am not going to be in the rat race. We need not call that out. We can do that internally within our mind. Nobody would even have this feeling that we have done that, or we have changed our attitude, and we can continue to lead our lives. Our inner, especially the mind management, becomes more important, and at that time we need not even discuss this with others. So she continues, she says, in such circumstances it is difficult to accept that we are not the body-mind complex, since others identify you and respect you based on your physical, intellectual and financial status. Yes, people judge us by our body, people judge us by our intellect, people judge us based on our wealth. This is natural. Society operates at that level only. What we are studying is not to change the society as a whole. What we are studying is to change our attitude. So outwardly, let us function as everyone, as in we need not actually judge others by their body, intellect or wealth or their financial status. But if somebody is doing so, we need not give them importance. We need not give it too much of importance. And what inwardly we should know, I am not limited to this role, whatever they are. If somebody sort of disrespects us, humiliates us, do not take it into your heart. Just ignore it, move on. If somebody praises you also, do not take it into your heart. Move on, because you know that you are not limited to that role. You know that this is only transient. This is not what we are supposed to be. We are not this body and mind. Whatever they are giving is only to their body and mind. So internally we should have this detachment. Again, we need not tell people that, look, what you are praising me, but it's not me. It's actually, this intellect is not me. I am the Atma, Satchitananda Atma. We need not explain all these things. Same thing when somebody, especially when somebody disrespects you, when somebody ignores us, at that time to bring this knowledge is very important. To say, okay, let the person behave the way they want. It's okay to me. I'll continue to be what I am. That attitude is very important. She further continues, she says, in fact, it challenges the dictum that the world is a myth when we all really see is the material world. How can something that we see be a myth and something that we don't see be a reality? So her question is, how can the world be mithya when it can be seen? Look, as I said, the world has got a reality. We have called it a reality. We say that it's got transactional reality. We have Paramarthika Satyam, Pratibhasika Satyam and Vyavaharika Satyam. The world is Vyavaharika Satyam. There is a reality there, but that doesn't mean that you can give too much of importance to it. So, question is, how is it that something that is seen cannot be real? Well, I can tell you there are so many things that we actually are seeing in this world which are not real. We see the sun rising in the east, sun setting in the west. If somebody says, oh, I see it and therefore it is real. No, sun doesn't change its position. It's only the earth which is rotating. So what can I see cannot be real? The same question can be asked. The sky is blue. Is it really blue? Is there something called sky? There's only space. So, but there is nothing called, it looks as if there is a dome of sky over us. It's not the case. So what we see is not real. We see water in the desert. It's water for our eyes. Clearly it's water for our eyes, but it's a mirage. So there are multiple examples that we can give, the Shastras will give, where they say what you are able to perceive through your senses need not be real. So for example, I can say that I am not able to see any waves going around me, but there is a Wi-Fi. There are Wi-Fi waves around me, sound waves around me. I'm not able to perceive them. Does it mean it is not there? No, it's there. So we cannot go with just our perception to say something which is real or not real. But world is experienced. Let us understand that. And as long as we are in this world, we'll have to follow dharma. Transactional reality is there, but we should not get attached. We should neither be attached nor should we have an aversion towards anything in this life. That is the balance that we have to build within ourselves. It's the world, we should see it as a movie. As long as I'm watching the movie, I'm able to, sometimes when we watch the movie, we enjoy it, we cry in it, but at the end of the day, we know it's actually not real, right? And not only that, the substratum is only a screen. It's only a superimposition on the screen. In the same way, the world, yes, we give only as much importance. The level of importance that we give to the world is inversely proportional to the spiritual growth that we have, that we build in our mind and intellect. The more we progress spiritually, the less and less importance we give to the world. Next, continuing, she says, perhaps the argument that it is not the world that is an illusion, but our interpretation of the world that is an illusion, that seems to hold more water. The cause of our sorrows is not the world. So I have already answered for it. The argument that the world is not an illusion, I have already answered. Now she continues, she says, the cause of our sorrows is not the world, but our interpretation of what the world throws at us, that breeds negative thoughts in us and steers away from the spiritual path. Yes, the interpretation is what makes it. When we talk about sorrow, for example, we have already seen this in the second chapter when we discussed this, but I'll just quickly go back. Our sorrow is dependent on the space and time. It is all space and time. The more closer that the person is to us, and if anything happens to them, we feel sorrow. The more distant, the less sorrow. So it's not that the death by itself brings us sorrow. We hear about death in so many places, so many times. So many injustices happen in this world, we don't get affected by them. But the moment some injustice happens to somebody who's close to us or to ourselves directly, then we feel that sorrow. So it's space and time. Something that happened 10 years ago wouldn't create that much of sorrow as much as probably what happened yesterday. 10 years ago, that we would probably even laugh at it at this moment. So it's all space and time. The sorrow, it's all an interpretation of the mind in terms of, again, it is ultimately Shastra says it is because of our likes and dislikes, or rather our raga dvesha, which determines whether we are sorrowful or not. Otherwise, if you look at it, death has to happen. Everybody has to die one day. Disease, nobody can escape. Old age, nobody can escape. Why do we need to feel sorrowful? If we say, okay, these are things that I understand, but what about accidents? What about injustices that are happening here? Then we say, karma. Do you know what the person had done in the previous life? No. Would you know what this person who is doing now this injustice now would be going through in the next life? No. Leave it. Bhagavan will take care. So, and if we are able to leave that even for things that happen to us and our closed circle, then we are maturing spiritually. But we should have that clarity. Not that if somebody gets it and we call it karma, and if we get it, we call it as injustice, then that is hypocrisy. Okay. So we will have to make sure that we have the same yardstick for everybody. Then she says, practicing vairagya or detachment makes you an alien even among your family and friends and makes you unpopular. This can make you mentally depressed, creating a vicious downward spiral, which is quite the opposite of what we are looking to achieve by attending Gita classes. Vairagya, so her problem is Vairagya makes you unpopular or isolated. That is common fare. But what is creating isolate? Why do you feel isolated? My question would be, if you say I will take an example to kind of probably explain this. So you suppose there is a group or gathering and that's actually doing gossip, and you don't want to be in part of that group and you want to withdraw, and now because you are detaching yourself from there, it makes you unpopular because the group sees you as different, and because they ignore you, you feel depressed, you feel mentally depressed and isolated. That's probably what I can infer from what Ashaji has written here, and this is what I can take it out as an example. Now the question here is, if this is the example, then I would say, we thinking that only that group can give me happiness, only that company will give me happiness, and their recognition about who am I is more important, is what makes you unhappy. It's not the Vairagya that has made you depressed. What is Vairagya then is not properly understood. Vairagya means, and Shastra says, there is one full Upanishad on this Vairagya and the happiness that it gives. Taittiriya Upanishad talks about Vairagya in detail. And similarly, Vairagya Shatakam is there from Bhadrahari. Vairagya will give us more happiness. What Shastra says is, the attachment that you have on an object, or rather, let's say, take an object or a person or a relation or a situation, if that situation or an object or that possession or that relation can give you 1 unit of happiness, then the Vairagya that you have on that will give you 100 units of happiness. As in, what is Vairagya? Vairagya is, I am not affected by its presence or absence. If it is there, it's not that I will run away from it. I will enjoy it. If it is not there, I will not get depressed out of it. It makes me more cheerful. It has to make me more contented. It makes me less demanding. You can see, if there are things that you have got attached in your early part of your life, now at present, if you are not attached to those things, you can realize how contented and happy you are. If somebody had been addicted to, say, for example, drinking or smoking or some bad habits, and if they have been able to come out of it, then you can see that they are really happy. At the time when there are still attachment is there, you will see what Ashaji makes it here. Depression may be there, suppression could be there, and all these problems would be there. That is only during the time that you are trying to remove the shackles of attachment. It is the shackles of attachment. Removing the shackles of attachment is what gives you depression and suppression, not Vairagya. Vairagya is a state when you are able to completely come out of it. At that stage, no, you are extremely happy. You are not attached. Makes you even more happy. You are free. Everybody wants freedom. So this Vairagya should not give you, but again, you should not practice it in such a way that you suppress it and you end up in a depression. So you will have to do it slowly. You will have to do it with lots of practice. So there are steps that you have to do. Again, if you want more, I would suggest go back and visit 13th chapter where we had discussed about Vairagya. There will be, we would have discussed a lot of steps on how to go through this slowly. If at the end, if you become gloomy, if you become desolated, if you feel isolated, then it is not Vairagya, it is fatigue. So a person who has got Vairagya will be cheerful, will be happy. Many people would love to come and would be naturally drawn to that person. Okay, now furthermore, she says one needs unshakable conviction in our scriptures and tremendous perseverance to practice the teachings and make it part of one's daily lives. Yes. Yes. And do not take this as a burden. As I said, take small, manageable steps. Conviction will strengthen naturally. Further, she says, for a beginner on the spiritual path, Vedanta is like a deep, dark ocean that someone who does not even know how to swim is pushed into. I think Ashishji, you also could relate to this point. It's a very honest feeling. But then remember that Vedanta, you're not being pushed alone. Vedanta is a. Why do we feel that way? Is because most of the others around us do not seem to be in it. And therefore we seem to be alone. Most of our colleagues, most of our family members, most of our friend circles, they are not into this. And therefore we feel we are lonely here. But understand, you have the Shastras, the Bhagavad Gita, the Guru, the Sādhakas, other Sādhakas there. And try to be in satsang as much as possible. Try to follow steady sadhana. Satsang is not just being in a group of people, with a group of people. Listening to Vedanta is also satsang. Reading a book is also satsang. Hearing stories about Mahans is also satsang. So try to be in satsang as much as possible and you will not feel that you are left alone. We'll take this one step by step, we'll be able to do it. So as I said, for Ashaji, I would say one small step, one small change at a time. She's already doing this. She says, sadhanas I try to practice to keep me on the path, reading, listening, class recording, satsangas by learned gurus. This is what I mentioned. Take one value taught by Gita and practice it till it becomes a habit. For example, take a sankalp to speak less or speak softly to others, or make a conscious effort not to speak ill of anyone. Very good. Fantastic. This is the most difficult and the best sadhana to start off. So she is doing that. Focus less on your needs, more on the needs of others. Again, good. That is Karma Yoga. Involve myself in community activities to help those less fortunate than me. Again, Karma Yoga. So she's already doing that, one small change at a time. One small change at a time. When we actually see success, it builds confidence in us. And it builds inner strength in us. And it helps us to take the next step. But if we take a huge step and we fail, we then find fault with the Shastras, with the Guru. We will not try to find fault with ourselves. So we will try to find fault with the Shastras and Guru. Ultimately we may say, this is, even if somebody points out it's because of you, they will say, then it's not for me. This Vedanta, this Shastras is not for me. So never try to take a big leap. Try to take small steps. Second thing is reduce the craving, not the activity. So my point would be to say, look, be active. Instead of saying, I want to be happy, you say, I am doing this because it's my duty, and irrespective of it, I'll be happy. Or the action itself will give me happiness. So instead of instead of actually waiting for the results to make you happy, convert the action itself into happiness. The best example that we give normally is the singer. For many of the singers, for example, a bathroom singer or anybody, if you look at it, the bathroom singer doesn't want any applause. As a bathroom singer, your singing itself makes you happy. Your process itself makes you happy. You're not waiting for an applause from somebody to say that you sang well. In the same way, if you are able to convert all our actions into kind of a bathroom singing, where I am doing it and by doing it itself, I am actually going to be happy. Not waiting for some kind of results to make me happy, it will be better. Then another thing that I would suggest is to maintain some kind of a pause. Have some time for doing nothing. Not watching, not sleeping, not doing any activity, sitting quietly, not seeing anything, not surfing the mind, not surfing, slowly, just close your eyes without sleeping 5 minutes. It's very difficult, very, very difficult, because all the impurities of the mind will come to the fore. But it's a very important step that we have to do, especially before 6th chapter. When we go into 6th chapter, there are steps that we would discuss in terms of how to do it. This is one of the most important starting steps to follow even before we think about meditation. Then, as I said, keep your sadhana simple. Don't make it too difficult, but keep gratitude. The attitude of gratitude is very important. At every stage, try to see Ishvara in everything. Anything that is good has happened, immediately give credit to Ishvara. Anything bad happens, immediately say Ishvara is trying to test me and is giving me this. He will be able to handle over. Bring Ishvara in every stage, every moment possible. That way, you would be able to see a change in the quality of life that we really have. In terms of the general contentment levels would go up. The happiness that we see, that we get, we would be able to start appreciating even smaller things in life which we would have taken for granted. So with that, I'll probably finish. Ashaji's reflections is over. We got another 5 minutes. Anybody who wants to pick up?
Yeah, Balaji. Thank you. I generally feel that in this whole journey of 5-7 years, I have changed a lot, and it is to the good, and it is because of these Gita classes quite a bit. I just can't pinpoint on multiple things exactly what it is, but when you were talking right now, it seemed to me that, yeah, these are the things. What has tremendously increased in me is my Vishwas in Krishna, my Vishwas in Bhagwan. And as you said, everything, I start my day with an intention of saying, Krishna, make me do what you want me to do today. And with that, give me the guidance, give me the path, and then I just start the day. And as you say, probably, if good things happen, I thank him. If bad happens, I just say, I know you are doing it. You know what you are doing. You will guide me through this. Either it is a result of something that I have to finish off. So I don't even see it like I feel happy. Not happy, I should say, but able to accept, because I get that thought in my mind that one of the prarabdha is getting done. And this is for myself, and even somehow I try and keep it even for my loved ones. When I see them suffering, I just feel, when it's not too bad, it's like, chalo kuch halka khatam hua. So that gives me a little bit more positive mindset. And I have seen that change in me. And I think because I've seen that change and because I've seen the happiness, I'm able to hold on to these thoughts a little bit more. The Vishwas has also given me that thought of Karma Yoga, that everything is Bhagwan. And also when people say, don't wait for the end, the result. If the result is not good, if you have not achieved, if you don't have a goal, you will not do the best. For me, the goal is to live up to my expectations. So I will do the best in everything that I do, and then I leave it. And again, the phala becomes like, if it is good, it is good. If it is not good, then something I'm able to get through, like kuch prarabdha khatam hua, and it is okay. This probably has, again, I think probably I can relate to all the Brahman, and we are all the same. I try to get this thought a little bit when I feel angry at somebody, when somebody is not doing good to me. I just feel we are all a part of it, and it is their karma, their perception that they are bringing it out, and I just have to, we are all like, they are also a part of the Brahman. So that a little forgiveness comes I should not feel angry at what they are doing to me, because everybody is a part of that Brahman. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't happen every time. It cannot happen every time. But I try to bring a few of these thoughts behind me. One thing that has always stuck with me, Guruji, is once you said what is spiritual achievement and material achievement. Materially, we are happy, we think we have achieved something if we have gotten a good deal from somebody, if somebody has done something and we have been able to extract more. Spiritual achievement is when we have been able to give more. So I somehow feel if we are doing a teamwork in office and somebody is doing less and I am doing more, take it as that not materialistic but spiritual achievement, that I've been able to help somebody. It is okay. They got a credit because I helped them. Maybe it's fulfilling my ego in certain sense that I am being nice and I am being kind and I am helping. But at least it decreased the anger that I get on things. And so when you are less angry, you are more happy, you are generally doing then the righter things or the nicer things. And it generally is giving me more happiness. And on the Vairagya part, I mean, we feel, but I just feel that the detachment probably for Vairagya is the detachment to the happiness from that person, object. If we think it as that, then maybe we can move a little forward. But like, it's not a detachment to the person, object, and thing. It is detachment to my happiness from that person, object, and thing. And if I am letting go of my happiness from that, then that person, object, and thing is not making me unhappy anymore. And when it is not making me unhappy, when I'm not angry with them, when I am happy, like generally at that base level, I am more kinder, I'm more willing to do things. I am more able to give versus not give because I don't care. This is what I feel.
Thank you so much, Kanchanji. Very well said. I think a lot of people could relate to what you said. And yes, the Vairagya explanation is perfect. Vairagya is not seeking pleasure or not seeking that to be an object of pleasure or happiness. So if that detachment, if we are able to get it, then if it gives happiness, it might give you happiness. It will give me, there are so many things that will give you pleasure. But to say that it can only give me pleasure and I have to get pleasure out of it is where the problem comes. As well said. And thank you for your feedback session. I don't know whether there's still some people who want to do it. Maybe if you want it, maybe we'll try to do it in the next week. But today we may have just reached time, so I'll probably close it here, and I'll ask it in the group whether people would want to share next week as well, and we'll take it from there. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Hari Om.